It was a homecoming West Lafayette, honored before the game. So Dr. Carson Cunningham loves what this program has done on the academic side, now trying to get the wins to reflect the success in the classroom.
Finished 8th last year in the Southland and has shown progress. And he certainly had enough reps against good teams to take that into the Southland Conference.
Nice moves by Christian Bishop as Dylan DeSue has checked into the game for the Longhorns. Had a vicious dunk to really spark Texas in that win against Alabama State. He's provided a presence with the stretch ability, but more so what he's done interior-wise with his rebounding and protecting the rim.
Yeah, he's made big plays coming off the bench, and he can switch, like you see there, big on a guard and creates a potential turnover. And that's something that Texas coaches love about their bigs. They just have a lot of confidence with them switching.
Marcus Carr got in that melee. He's holding his head. We'll check on him when we return. 7-0 Longhorns early.
I'm the biggest fan around.
The face paint.
The finger.
The team toll tag on my ride. Rep my team, save on tolls.
My new tattoo.
You paid for that?
Show your Longhorn pride.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for taking care of us.
And supporting us.
Thank you for believing in us.
Thanks for your compassion.
Thank you for the food.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for everything.
Gracias.
Thank you for giving us your best.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, let sleigh bells ring. It's Ewald Kubota's first annual Trade Orange for Green holiday cash offer. We know the idea of trading your trusted Kubota equipment for cash might be tough, but having some cash on hand right before the holidays just might be the cure. Or trade in for a new Kubota Sidekick, Kubota zero-turn mower, or a brand new Kubota SBL or compact tractor. It's your choice during Ewald Kubota's Trade Orange for Green holiday cash offer going on now.
Care. When you start with it, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Born to care.
He's as dangerous as anyone I've seen.
An explosion at the rim.
Can nobody stop that? Light another hot pack. Can nobody stop that?
Balance of the one in the crown. My power will never take down. Sitting on my throne now.
What a finish. Joanne Allen Taylor with a huge bucket from the corner.
It has been a battle on every possession.
Dylan DeSue taking bodies early on here. So this is a scramble for the loose ball. Look at poor Drew Lutz.
Ouch. Ouch.
Gets ripped in the face, and then Lutz goes down, and there's an inadvertent kick to both Lutz and Marcus Carr.
Wow.
Carr got the worst of it, but Dylan DeSue, an intense young man. Carr got the brunt of it, collateral damage, but he's back on the court. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, and there are guys like that where you just kind of want to stay out of their way, Lowell, quite frankly, just because elbows, knees, everything is fair game for them, and they involve every body part in every play.
One of those guys like Jonathan Holmes, he did that a lot back in his playing days. Nneka Inimpali for the women's program was always getting somebody hurt, even her own teammates, as that was all from Benjamin Christie. And Incarnate Word drawing the charge. So on the other end, there's Lutz, put the body on the line. Lutz is one of those glue guys for this UIW team. Does all the little things like this.
Yeah, and as a guard, as a point guard, he makes the engine go, does a good job of staying down and in front of Carr, who was committed to drive,
Is he
got to be a
set,
little
though?
more under control.
Is he set there?
Well, questionable.
Yeah. Lutz also was making a return to home of sorts. Played his high school basketball in Granger, Indiana, so the chance to play Purdue, big for this UIW team. And as you mentioned, Lance, Cardinals have been in games early, even against the big dogs, because they're hitting shots. And right now that's not happening as Lutz got tied up and called for the travel there. So the Texas defense is getting after it early on.
Well, that's where things happen for Texas on the defensive end. And essentially, it's a bigger team against a smaller team because of the way UIW plays, particularly on the perimeter. But Texas has confidence in their length and size with their bigs guarding smaller players on the perimeter, and have been extremely successful here early. UIW with no points on the board.
Courtney Ramey checks in. Just 19 minutes the past 2 games. Only saw him 4 minutes. Last time out, Jones weaving through, but Jones is called for the travel. So back-to-back travel calls on both ends of the court.
I mean, we're talking about Texas on the defensive end, but how about Texas on the offensive end? They aren't exactly in a flow either as we get back-to-back turnovers. And this is a bug that can eventually bite them low, where they get stagnant, if you will, and don't get a nice rhythm, particularly early in the game.
I mean, honestly, the opposition outside Gonzaga and Seton Hall this season has not been good enough to expose Texas when they have these cold spurts. That will change once you get into Big 12 play.
Yeah, I think that's extremely well put. And I think Coach Beard knows that as you see him looking on there. And you mentioned them wanting to run a little bit more and get easy baskets. It's one thing to say that. You've got to put that into motion in games where you're actually pushing the ball and pushing the issue offensively the same way they do defensively.
So what do you think is keeping Texas from doing that a little bit more as Mitchell is off the mark there?
Well, I think it's just a culmination of a number of things. One, you've got new guys getting comfortable with a new system, and you have coaches that are trying to get familiar with different lineups, etc. So until that happens, they could potentially have problems conference-wide.
And back and forth we go. Christie gets UIW on the board. Andrew Jones comes back and essentially erases that three-pointer from Christie.
And Christie, the only true big, really, for UIW, and able to stretch the floor, as you saw with the 3-ball.
Yeah, he's picking up the slack for Kevin Shuda, their 5-man that tore his ACL the week before the season started. There's a turnover. Push from Dessou. Jones lost it. Found Courtney Ramey as Ramey gently drops it through the cylinder. Getting out and running, though.
Yeah, they're running because of their defense. They've got to figure out how to run off of either made baskets and or rebounds. See, they can run in these situations where they get turnovers and they push the ball. Can you run when you don't get turnovers? That's how you push pace, Lowell.
5 turnovers for Incarnate Word early on. Mitchell, little lefty touch. No good.
A little surprised to see UIW stay in the man defense. Thought they would have played a little bit of zone as they did against Purdue.
Well,
try to force some jump shots.
But that's what Dr. Carson Cunningham says. Gene Katie, all about the man defense. He's all about the man defense at UIW. A little oops to we like it from Jones and Ramey. Jones and his Texas teammates looking good defensively to start the game, forcing 5 turnovers and limiting UIW to 1 of 5 from the field. For the Cardinals, this is a good sign to have R.J. Glasper back in the lineup. 13 points per game, wearing number 1 there in the red. Second leading scorer, did not play in the road loss against Purdue. Glasper transferred from Oral Roberts, that team that made it all the way to the Sweet 16 a year ago. Shot clock winding down. Morgan gets past to Sue. Mitchell erases that shot. Texas defensively certainly looking more crisp than they did against Alabama State.
Yeah, and Texas also staying with the bigger lineup. We see it here with 3 bigger front court players.
Jones, Snow on the 3. We saw them really roll that out for the first time against Alabama State, where we saw Christian Bishop and Trey Mitchell playing at the same time. And then, of course, Dessou coming off the bench doing his thing. Right into the hands of Mitchell. Turnover number 6 and a foul there by Griston. All Texas here in the early going. 12-3 guys in the burnt orange and white.
Don't wait months to refresh your home. Start the transformation today at Living Spaces, where you'll find a friendly, non-commissioned team of experts to help you create the perfect room with our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, decor, and more, in stock and standing by for delivery. With fast and free shipping on any purchase, you can enjoy your new designs as early as tomorrow. Bringing your vision to life has never been easier or quicker at Living Spaces and livingspaces.com.
Living Spaces.
Come home to Kissing Tree, a hill country paradise carved into the Texas foothills. You'll enjoy resort-style amenities in this 55-plus community. Golf, pickleball, hiking trails, a beer garden, and our newest additions, a 2-story fitness center, indoor lap pool, and infinity resort pool. There are 18 beautiful home styles with a variety of price ranges to let you live life on your own terms. Visit kissingtree.com and plan your tour today.
Introducing 48 square centimeters of earning potential. Flawlessly designed, undeniably versatile, unlimited 2% cash back. This is the card built for real life.
She's gonna be a drummer.
Yeah, she is. That's gonna get loud.
Right?
The new Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa credit card. Unlimited 2% cash back on purchases. That's real life ready.
What starts here creates leaders and sparks our future. What starts here lights our way. What starts here leads to answers to the world's toughest problems. What starts here builds opportunity and lifts up our communities. What starts here feeds the soul. What starts here changes the world. The University of Texas at Austin.
The crown, my power they'll never take down. Sitting on my throne now. 1, 2, 3,
What a finish! Joanne Allen Taylor with a huge bucket from the corner.
It has been a battle on every possession.
the baddest killer queen you've ever seen.
You're watching Longhorn Network. Hook 'em horns.
Basketball on Longhorn Network is presented by Coors Light, official sponsor of the Texas Longhorns, and in part by St. David's Healthcare. The best is here.
Welcome back to beautiful Austin, Texas. Longhorns up on the UIW Cardinals 12-3 here in the first half. Courtney Ramey from the Big 12 logo puts it down, and Ramey now up to 4 points.
And that was out of a timeout. That was well executed, a play drawn up off the bench.
And here's the season outlook for UIW. 5 different top scorers in 10 games this season. 10 newcomers, 3 transferred, 7 freshmen. Coach Cunningham really putting a lot of hope into guys like R.J. Glasper, a transfer from Oral Roberts, that he would provide a lot of steady leadership. And to this point, he has his Glasper wide left on that deep three-point attempt. A team that was picked in the preseason to finish 7th in the Southland Conference, the only team behind them, Houston Baptist. Uh-oh. It's okay, Courtney. It's okay.
Well, is it me, or have we seen a number of those unique and errant misses this season?
I like that, both unique and errant. Errant being the key. Let's see, we've seen 2 balls wedged in the rim, and then we saw 3 ball from the corner. Did it hit the side of the backboard, or somehow it hit the top?
Yeah, it hit an area I didn't even know existed.
Finding new parts.
Yeah, we're finding new ways to miss shots.
Early season, right?
Early season.
With Southland Conference, it's a new look with teams like Abilene Christian moving on. So wide open for a team like the Cardinals. We don't really know how good they are because the schedule's been so brutal that they'll have a much better shot in Southland play, as that is Josh Morgan with the 3. So second bucket for the Cardinals, both from outside, as Morgan with his first.
Gretzky doing a great job finding the open guard right in the corner. The easiest places to catch and shoot from the 3. Texas struggling to get the ball inside and exploit the size.
Trying to thread the needle there was Allen to Bishop.
A little too committed there. Really was no play to be made offensively around the basket. It's okay to pull things out and use space to create offense on the perimeter.
There's Morgan looking for a back-to-back bucket run, and Marcus Carr, some contact there, no whistle. And a nice save by Carr. And he pulls the trigger. Marcus Carr gets it to go. So Carr with his first bucket of the night. 8.6 points per game, far cry from what he was averaging at 19 last season for Minnesota, but as to be expected, those numbers have dropped, surrounded with more talent, finding a new role.
Carr's a different player from that range. Shoots in the Irwin Center, though, shoots about 40%. He's just a lot more comfortable. He's certainly going to be needed as Texas approaches conference play.
Great work by Timmy Allen. Then a no-look inside the Cunningham off the hands of UIW. So Bishop going to the bench, Mitchell coming in. So still keeping that 3-forward look. Cunningham kind of the swing. And here comes Devin Askew off the bench. So Askew had his run, started the 3 previous games. Obviously doing something in that time that Chris Beard really liked, even though the box score didn't really reflect much of anything. Yeah, and that's no knock on Askew. There's just not a lot of stats from those games.
Well, I think the stat is really his effort and commitment and how hard that he plays as Timmy Allen throws it out of bounds there low. But I think it's just his commitment and effort and pace and how hard he plays that the coaches are excited about. And over time, talked about it last game, there's potentially an investment that they get back for all the minutes that he gets to play through the early part of this season.
Because next year, this team is going to look a lot different.
Correct.
And he is one of the guys that is expected to be back next season. A lot can happen. Jalen Tyson, the freshman from Plano, entered the transfer portal, so he's not going to be a future part of this team. And when all these transfers run their course and are gone, it's going to be guys like Askew that are left to build around.
Yeah, and this is certainly a mature, older team. And Texas will be in many games because of that maturity of guys. One that have had success at the collegiate level, but also have been in pressure situations where they can impact a lot of winning.
Here's Askew, aggressive drive and the kick. That's one thing Askew does not do. Does not shoot the ball a lot. Andrew Jones certainly will. He has no problem with that. 5 points for AJ1. 19-6 lead here for the Longhorns. Christie looking for help. Bradley Akile draws the whistle. Well, on December 19th, first Texas rowing coach in program history, Carrie Graves, passed away due to complications from Alzheimer's. She was 68 years old. Graves was the first woman head coach at Harvard and Northeastern before being hired by Jody Conrad in July 1998. While at Texas, she won 4 straight Big 12 titles and made 2 NCAA championship appearances. She is survived by her son, Ben. Carrie Graves will be missed.
Each year, Americans waste $21 billion by overpaying on car insurance. That's why I went to thezebra.com. Because while every company claims to save you money on car insurance, the Zebra shows you who actually can.
Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com today.
What a finish! Huge bucket from the corner.
It has been a battle on every possession.
The class is called Game Plan for Winning at Life.
Here we go. It'll make you feel better. Human connection.
He really solidifies the core values and the core characteristics that successful people have.
He's the type of guy, when you meet with him or you're in this class or whatever, you just know that he has your best interest in mind, so it makes you want to listen.
As you're kind of charting your way through UT, kind of think about this in the back of your heads, both athletes and non-athletes, kind of what kind of system we've created. We set it up in such a way where half of the students are athletes, half are non-athletes. We're trying to break down that barrier that oftentimes exists on a lot of campuses where athletes and non-athletes don't really get a chance to form meaningful relationships.
He really reaches out to younger students and athletes at the university because he truly does care about helping out the younger generation to help them be successful.
My sole mission is to build empathetic leaders. I want the students in my class to walk away with an appreciation for taking risks. And I want them to feel more emboldened to take chances. I have an opportunity to give back to a place that gave a lot to me at a very formative time in my life. So to be back on the 40 acres, working with young people is rewarding.
This is why moms are the best, right? The little man eating cotton candy. Mom has to pull out the wet wipes. Little son, he ain't feeling it. Lance, this is why I have a hard no policy. When my kids were that age, no cotton candy, no ice cream when dad is in charge, because I don't want to get sticky. That wet wipe didn't do it. I mean, that kid is still sticky right there.
You're taking away one of the joys of being at an event and or game like this. What do you mean no cotton candy?
No cotton. That kid is sticky.
No,
he's adorable.
Well,
he's having the
part
time
of
his
being
life.
here is you need to be sticky.
I don't know about that, Lance. Just don't know. Akile, no luck at the free throw line. Ask you running the point here for the Longhorns. Get cotton candy and put it all over you and see how you feel.
Yeah, well, at that age, it's fine. That's part of why I want to be here.
The kid loves it. Mitchell, nice spin off Christie for the finish.
Well, Texas can get that all day long if UIW is not going to double team on the block with Mitchell. He's just too mobile down there to be guarded by one person.
He's really got a nice mix of ways he can score in that area. Ooh. Little blow by there, leading to Akile, weaving through traffic. He's stuck and throws it away, looking for Lutz. Lutz set all of that up, but to no avail for UIW. Texas men, you'll see him again on LHN in Big 12 play against Oklahoma. Game presented by Coors Light, January 11th, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Right here on LHN, Lance and I will be on the call. And Oklahoma, one of those teams that they've surpassed expectations, as is most of the teams in the Big 12. 2 teams right now with more than 2 losses in the Big 12. That's it. Kansas State and Oklahoma State. And both those teams have the ability to beat you. Tough angle, and somehow Dylan Dessou, body control in the finish for the bucket.
Well, Texas is more and more becoming a team of bigs and a team that wants to shove it down your throat around the basket.
12 points in the paint for the Longhorns and a 32-12 edge in that department against Alabama State. Akile, yes, Bradley Akile, senior from Houston, way of Gillette College, knocks it down from outside.
Well, and that's how UIW gets things done. As Akile knocks down the 3, it has to be on the perimeter.
Ooh. Dessou missed everything. There's the threes. But that is something he can do consistently. Hit it from the outside. That's another ugly miss. Here's Johnny Hughes back into the hands of Drew Lutz. A lot of the offense will go through him. Lutz in trouble and blocked by Dessou. Tips it to himself. The athleticism on display.
Thought Hughes made a smart play there to foul, because that was going to be one of those posterized dunks. And I think Dessou is starting to show that that's kind of who he is, Lowell. He's a big play guy, at least thus far in his 4th game. He can help and block shots, finish around the rim.
So after that shot clock violation, Mitchell is called for the charge. That was Hughes going down. So 2 fouls now on Trey Mitchell. But Dessou gives you a lot of versatility. And we talked a lot about this leading up to this game. He's one of those unknown commodities where we've seen Texas with the guys starting the season struggle in the big games against Gonzaga, Seton Hall, and now with Dylan Dessou, that's perhaps reason for hope that in the Big 12 against nationally ranked opponents, it can be a different outcome.
Yeah, it is. Sorry for cutting you off, pal, but yeah, I mean, averaging 9 points a game so far in the ones he's played. He's shown himself to be a big play guy. He can defend and do things that the coaches like. If nothing else, he keeps everyone rightly calibrated, particularly in the front court, to overachieve if they want to stay on the floor.
Lutz, no, nearly back-to-back shot clock violations. Ramey moving up really quick.
And that's an example of the type of running you want to see, Lo. There was a great stop there, rebound, throw ahead, and finish. They've got to back that up and sustain that kind of offensive pressure on the opponent.
Oh, deflections and a great job by Andrew Jones just to lead that pass up, and it ends up with a foul for Drew Lutz. So heady defensive play, and then a pass after that from the veteran. It's been here forever, Andrew Jones.
Yeah, you made the point earlier about Texas and their defense and how things will get more challenging as they face tougher opponents. And one of those is they won't be able to get as many turnovers or force as many as they've been able to do against lesser opponents. So where can you manufacture points? I think it comes through the pressure you put on people when you get stops from rebounds and or even taking the ball out of bounds and pressuring the defense that way.
And you see the difference in the numbers with unranked competition and top 25s. That's a really good shot by Marcus Carr. Really what that is showing is the unknown. What we do know is against overmatched opponents, Texas will destroy them. What we do not know is what happens when you face the better competitions. Does that defense carry over? Looking good here tonight against UIW.
Nobody compete. Yeah, right back to
some juice, some life right now.
Can nobody stop this?
You want a great team? You gotta build it, piece by piece. Start with a few natural-born leaders, old vets who've seen it all, and a few youngsters just getting started. Those with chips on their shoulders and ice in their veins. You find a cast of characters like that, you've got yourself one hell of a team.
I don't think anybody can be a nurse. It has to be a special person. You need that compassion and attitude of caring. St. David's has this nature. It's very special. They are family. My colleagues are my family. My name is Anusha Dhakal. I'm a nurse. We all do one thing. We give our best.
I'm the biggest fan around.
The face paint.
The finger.
The team toll tag on my ride. Rep my team, save on tolls.
My new tattoo.
You paid for that?
Show your Longhorn pride.
What starts here creates leaders and sparks our future. What starts here lights our way. What starts here leads to answers to the world's toughest problems. What starts here builds opportunity and lifts up our communities. What starts here feeds the soul. What starts here changes the world. The University of Texas at Austin.
Welcome back to the Irwin Center, where Texas is suffocating the opponent. And here you'll see Bradley on the dribble drive after the closeout here. He pump fakes, but look at the suffocating defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No vision. And watch where Bradley throws the ball. He can't see, cutting off all lanes, throws the ball out of bounds. Possession, Texas, because of the suffocating help in the paint and the closure of all vision. Lowell, your turn to go.
10 turnovers forced by the Longhorns. UIW has not hit a two-point shot. 0 for 6 inside the three-point line. Heck, you can make it 0 for 10 if you can include the free throw line, where they are 0 for 4.
Well, sometimes defense carries over. Here you see, speaking of suffocating, when defense is like this low and you're the offensive team, it sometimes feels like there is as many as 6 or 7 people on the floor.
Well, Rob Lanier used to tell me when he was coaching under Rick Barnes that he really believed there was a correlation between defensive intensity and free throw line success, and that when you rattle a team to that extent, you see it reflected at the free throw line.
I agree with Rob in that. I mean, it certainly can be unnerving. Teams, when they go to the free throw line and the defense is just suffocating.
Carr with a good move to get inside the paint. Jump stop to Allen. Back to Carr. Makes another man miss. Jace Febres wide open, and he knocks it down. Jace Febres finding more comfort now off the bench. He was a guy that got 5 straight starts, and now coming off the bench.
How about the good to great, though? Carr had a shot right at the free throw line, but found a wide open Febres in the corner for the easy 3 ball, the easiest place to shoot the 3 from.
Got a couple of those against Alabama State. Oh, Christian Bishop, the block from behind, but it's a charge call on Johnny Hughes. Febres lost his shoe, picked up the charge, and here picks up the 3.
And the ball movement here, stop right there. 2 defenders come over to help. Perfect vision into the corner, and he hits him right on time and right on target, right in the slot. And so that assist was even better than a regular assist, Lowell, because of where he hit Febres with the ball, which was right in the pocket.
30-9, Texas lead. Febres, Bishop, Allen. Kick out to call. Bishop, no. Still fighting. To Allen. The toss to Bishop and the throwdown. He's loving life.
Right now, Texas has its perimeter lineup on the floor, but the bigs for Texas have all but taken over the offensive boards, particularly on that possession low.
And that's how you keep fighting, to get the better shot and to keep a possession live. Under 2 minutes here. Only 3 buckets for UIW. Glasper tries to change that, does not get it to go, but Bishop is called for the foul on the 3-point shot.
Well, one of the things you like to see is effort and energy. Look at Bishop stay with the play. He falls, gets on the ground, then is rewarded for it and finishes with strength. That's something I think this Texas coaching staff likes in terms of the level of energy and fervor that this young man plays with. Coach Beard is a guy who likes physicality in the game. He's always talking about aggression, pressure. He uses words that match the way that Bishop was able to finish that around the basket.
And give him credit for how the season started. He was out there in the initial starting 5, started the first 2. He comes off the bench. Trey Mitchell takes his place. We talked to him the first game that he was not a starter. After the game, and he handled it so well, saying he understands his role and what Chris Beard is asking him to do. And look, do your job. Bishop has done it. Now he finds himself back in the starting 5, which Coach Beard wants to make irrelevant, but you know, as a player, people still do look down to see who's running out there first tonight.
Yeah, it's natural human behavior to look at who's starting, who's coming off the bench, how many minutes you played, what percentages you shot. But I contend, Lowell, that the better teams have more role acceptance than teams that struggle.
Oh, no doubt about that. I'm with you 100% there.
Yeah, embrace who you are and what you do, and it can help get you wins.
More guys like Brock Cunningham serving his role. Jace Fedras, who's done a good job now coming back off the bench. Timmy Allen, that's been the mainstay in the starting 5. Nice dump pass to Askew. A rare shot for him. Nearly got it to go. Cunningham with the cut. Cunningham, good job bodying up Glasper there for the finish.
Well, yeah.
Askew with the steal and puts it in. That's what Chris Beard likes.
Well, yeah, that was huge. Askew staying engaged. Texas mixing up the pressure. This token, or what I call token pressure, forcing bad plays by UIW.
Into the hands of Cunningham. Late whistle there as Glasper is down, collected himself.
Well, there was a nice finish there, using his body, as you mentioned, Cunningham, to shield the ball. And then Glasper made the Cardinal center going away from the ball on the inbound play. Askew made him pay with the steal. So as much the receiver as it is the passer to get a pass.
Oh, tough bucket there. R.J. Glasper, just the 4th field goal made by UIW. Texas was close to tying a program record for the fewest field goals in a half allowed with 3. Last time that happened, 2011. I think this coaching staff will be okay with 4 field goals allowed in the first half.
Yeah, you got to give a big thumbs up. Not only for that stat, whoever found it, Lowell, but also 4 field goals. That's pretty good for a half of basketball.
Fevers wanted another one. He got another one from outside, and that shooting stroke is starting to come back around for Jace Fevers, who has missed a lot of time over the past couple of seasons. But I know lower level competition, but this Texas team has done everything they could be asked to do in the first half. Fewest points allowed in a half this season, only 14 on the board for UIW. All Texas here inside the Irwin Center.
College basketball on Longhorn Network, presented by Coors Light. is brought to you by thezebra.com. Compare and save at thezebra.com.
Saving is really important to Larry. And the Zebra helped him save by comparing the top insurance companies side by side. Save an average of $440 on car insurance. Compare and save at thezebra.com.
If you've been watching Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli on ESPN2.
Helmet doesn't fit. Shocking that a helmet doesn't fit you.
Tom's got to go to bed here soon.
What's your curfew, Tom?
We're past it.
You can stream more of them on ESPN Plus with Peyton's Places.
That's not for drinking. Delightful.
Eli's Places.
You're going to take it easy on me, aren't you? Roll Tide, baby. No.
And Detail.
He's obviously very aware of who's blocked and who's unblocked.
Sign up now at ESPNplus.com.
In 1972, he and 4 partners graduated from UT and started an Austin ad agency. His creativity allowed GSD&M to soar, redefining advertising and creating pop culture in the process. Because of his perspective, a long list of clients have found success.
When the needs of the world and your talent cross, therein lies your purpose.
Developing brands firmly based on principles.
It's a definitive difference you're trying to make in the world.
Roy Spence, he's a Longhorn legend.
He's as dangerous as anyone I've seen. What explosion at the rim! Can nobody stop that? Let another outlet. Can nobody stop
that? You want a great team? You gotta build it, piece by piece. Start with a few natural-born leaders, old vets who've seen it all, and a few youngsters just getting started. Those with chips on their shoulders and ice in their veins. You find a cast of characters like that, you've got yourself one hell of a team.
What a finish! Joanne Allen Taylor with a huge bucket from the corner.
Welcome back to the Irwin Center. Texas women's basketball was supposed to take on Alcorn State here tomorrow night. That game has been canceled because of COVID concerns on the Texas side. So next matchup for Vic Schaefer is going to be Sunday at Oklahoma State. That will be the beginning of Big 12 play for the Longhorns. With a preview, here's ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck.
As Texas women's basketball heads into Big 12 play, there are a couple of games that I am keeping an eye on. One is when they face Baylor, and they have to go against Nalissa Smith, and also when they face Iowa State and go against three-point shooting and Ashley Jones. But there are 3 others that I'm keeping an eye on, and that's when they play Kansas State, also when they play West Virginia and Oklahoma. That's another one of those teams that shoot the 3 extremely well. Let's take a look on the national stage of who could be National Player of the Year. You have Aaliyah Boston of South Carolina, who's a walking double-double. Look, this is a 6'5" center that can play all over the court, and she is also a tremendous shot blocker. You have Nalissa Smith of Baylor, and she has that versatility of her game, rebounding, running the floor, doing all kinds of stuff. You also have Alyssa Cunane of NC State. This is a post player that can score inside and out. And you have to take a look at Haley Jones of Stanford. Now, that's a player that has been converted to a number of positions for Stanford, from playing post, wing, even point guard. So keep an eye out. Let's talk about Final Four contenders. Well, you have South Carolina that is sitting at the top of the heap. But you also, I think, have the potential to get back Stanford and Arizona. Those are 2 teams that played for a national championship. You also have to always consider Connecticut getting in the mix. But you have Maryland, who is high octane. They're all gas, no brakes. They run full force. And now let's talk about Texas. Are they one of those teams that could contend? I think so. With the way Vic Schaefer has his teams, their ability to defend and shut down. And now that they're healthy, they may be young in some areas, but this is a team that plays well together. They move and share the basketball, and they are contenders as well.
Carolyn, thank you so much. Texas women's basketball back on LHN Wednesday, January 5th, when Texas Tech comes to town for a Big 12 matchup. Texas women's basketball Wednesday, January 5th at 7 p.m. Central on LHN and the ESPN app. Rory Harmon, check this out. She is the National Freshman of the Week after doing this Wednesday against Princeton. 15 points, 6 of 8 from the field, 7 rebounds and 3 steals. Upside for Rory Harmon, freshman, just starting to scratch the surface. Coming up next, we'll continue a halftime breakdown here inside the Irwin Center as Jay Billis puts his money down on one of tonight's team to win it all. That team may actually surprise you.
How can you describe Whataburger's honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich? The chicken just has a certain... And then there's the sauce that just gives you a little bit of... And the cheese, it's the exact right amount of... It's almost too hard to put it into... Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich at Whataburger. Just like you like it.
I've been nursing 36 years, and I love my job.
We believe in caring for everyone. And that's what makes our work a purpose.
What I love here at Ascension is the sense of community and being.
I look out for them, they look out for me, and we look out for our patients.
I have too many blessings to count. I think that's what happens when you find your calling.
When it comes to reaching goals or realizing dreams, we're here to help you gain the confidence you'll need to succeed. UFCU. Invest in yourself.
AG Rugby. A new phenomenon is on the rise. All the action without the padding. All the contact without the helmets. All the grit. All the camaraderie. All the spirit. Then we speed it up. AG Rugby is back. Find more. Season tickets and group passes are available now.
If you like football, you're going to love rugby.
What starts here creates leaders and sparks our future. What starts here lights our way. What starts here leads to answers to the world's toughest problems. What starts here builds opportunity and lifts up our communities. What starts here feeds the soul. What starts here changes the world. The University of Texas at Austin.
I'm here at the Sportsbook at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino, and thinking about where to put your money for the national championship can be a daunting task. You're thinking about the favorites: Gonzaga, UCLA, Kansas, Purdue. That seems like where you should go, but I think it's a wide open field. I think it's a lot wider than those 4 teams for the Final Four in the national championship. So I'm looking for longer odds, because the road to the Final Four, I'm looking for the road to Easy Street. So, ma'am, I want to put everything on Incarnate Word, 2,500 to 1.
We can do that for you.
I'm looking to live on Easy Street.
Good luck to you.
I don't need luck, ma'am. I'm a winner.
Our guy Jay Billis, well, put it this way, puts $100 down, and UIW does shock the world, and shock the world it would be. Wins $250,000. You know, that ain't too bad right now, but Jay, That peak ain't looking the best right now here at half. Texas up 39-14, but help is on the way for Incarnate Word and for Texas, because you have New Year's resolutions for both teams, starting with UIW.
Well, building off of Jay and Coach Beard, it's all about the seeding. So with the resolutions low, we gotta start, we gotta get above that 8, and they were picked 7th, and the reason is we got to get in the tournament, but we got to get good seeding in the Southland Conference tournament. So we've got to improve on that 8 and get good seeding. And then also, Lowell, we can't be turning the ball over as much as we do. Coming into this game, Lowell, 144 turnovers against 195. And as you write it, 12 today. We got to improve there so we can get that big money in Vegas. And then, of course, the resolutions for Texas. Carr, I mean, where are you, my man? We need you. We need old Carr as the new Carr, as in Marcus Carr. 19.4. Lowell, that's like you. That's major points, man. We need you to score more than 8.5 points an outing as we Texas fans approach conference play. And then, of course, the wins. They've been great in beating the people they're supposed to beat, but you got to get a signature win so you can get on with your season. Right now, it's so quiet that it's noisy that Texas fans want that signature win, namely this one next to me, Lowell, that being you.
Well, the end of this schedule is brutal, starting with that matchup against Tennessee on January 29th. All good for the moment for Texas.
Sometimes you take it easy, and sometimes you make it easy. That's the fine life, baby.
I don't think anybody can be a nurse. It has to be a special person. You need that compassion and attitude of caring. St. David's has this nature. It's very special. They are family. My colleagues are my family. My name is Anusha Dhakal. I'm a nurse. We all do one thing. We give our best.
Care. When you start with it, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Born to care.
You step in and it's like, boom, everything's gone.
People are not used to hearing how dead sound can be. It sounds unnatural. Sound in general is something that has been with people their whole lives, and most people have not stopped to think, what is sound?
So what exactly is this room, and why does it even exist? It's called an anechoic chamber, and surprisingly, you can find them all over the world.
The University of Texas built its anechoic chamber for a variety of purposes, but really centered around testing electroacoustic devices. As you'll see, is the walls are cone-shaped, and effectively what that does is as the sound wave arrives, it bounces off of these cones, and the cones are angled such that it bounces back and forth and effectively traps the wave. So the work that we do is really focused on the reception of sound.
That allows us to get very accurate measurements for very sensitive devices and to measure energy of a source to characterize how strong it is, how directional it is. So we use sound in very, very different ways to connect with people in terms of understanding what we're trying to do.
Welcome back to Texas Basketball on Longhorn Network, presented by Coors Light. Lowell Galindo here with Lance Blanks heading into the second half. All Texas dominant performance as should be expected with this type of matchup. 39-14 Longhorns as they get their final tune-up before taking on West Virginia to open up Big 12 play. The defense really started early. Christian Bishop set the tone with a charge.
Yeah, Lowell, but this is a little extra. We're talking only 4 field goals for UIW.
That's it.
That's it, and it's because of the suffocating defense. I don't care who you are. That is good defense, and when I say suffocating, you see it there with 5 bodies closing off all lanes for Bradley. And then, of course, the help by Fevers. It was the entirety of the first half. The defense was absolutely magnificent.
UIW just 1 of 7 on 2-point shots. And that brings us to the Zebra game summary comparison, brought to you by thezebra.com. UIW just shooting 24%. Doesn't help with those 12 turnovers as well. And Texas has done a good job taking care of the basketball. 5 turnovers for them. They're also getting 17 points off turnovers. And we've seen them run a little bit more off the live ball turnovers. And after missed shots as well, we've seen them push the tempo.
Yeah, something you talked about is who's going to emerge as the guy. Aside from that, I think Texas needs a guard to emerge, and I think that guard needs to be Carr. I talked about it in the first half where he had a good to great play. That young man right there where he drove, had a wide open look at the free throw line that he passed off to maybe a better shot. But I think he's got to find a nice pocket for himself where he can be a little more selfish than he's been thus far this season. Well,
Carr was the #1 ranked transfer by ESPN coming into this season as Timmy Allen goes outside and misses the 3-point shot. So Jones and Carr and Mitchell all with 5 points. The leading scorers for the Longhorns coming off the bench, and Ramey and Febres. Bounce pass, Mitchell! Get out! Throwing it down!
Well, these 2 young men, you mentioned Carr and where he was rated coming into this season. These 2 young men were also highly rated, and I think they brought what the expectation was, Allen and Mitchell.
And we've said it before, but Allen has been the most consistent guy. Coaching staff loves him, just brings it. You know you can count on him. What does that mean for a coaching staff? Accountability.
Well, that's everything, and that's what I know these guys on pro.
Nice feed and finish. Sorry to cut you off, buddy.
You should have cut me off because no one cut off Allen, who was streaking to the basket. Texas does a great job of finding cutters, particularly when the defense loses its man and vision.
Here's Morgan. Denied by Christian Bishop. Nothing has been easy for the Cardinals offense. Mitchell again making back-to-back flushes for Trey Mitchell, the junior transfer from UMass.
Yeah, and that's one of the luxuries of Allen. Anytime he gets a steal and or rebound, he can turn it into offense. Here, you're not going to get in front of me? Okay, I'll just find my main man. Texas up big, 45-14.
These are Whataburger stickers. Proof that everything you dream up for your 100% fresh beef Whataburger is right under the bun. So go wild, burger lover. Avocado, jalapenos, and no onions. Wait, avocado grilled jalapenos. Oh, and bacon and creamy pepper sauce. However you dream it, we'll make it. Whataburger, just like you like it.
AG Rugby. A new phenomenon is on the rise. All the action without the padding. All the contact without the helmets. All the grit. All the camaraderie. All the spirit. AG Rugby is back. Find more. Season tickets and group passes are available now.
If you like football, you're going to love rugby.
Each year, Americans waste $21 billion by overpaying on car insurance. That's why I went to thezebra.com. Because while every company claims to save you money on car insurance, The Zebra shows you who actually can.
Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com today.
What a finish! Joanne Allen Taylor with a huge bucket from the corner.
Since getting his finance degree in 1968, he had a proclivity for profit. First with investments in broadcasting, then a 14-fold windfall in the sale of a Texas soft drink tradition. That launched him into the big leagues, leading the ownership of pro teams in baseball and hockey.
I've always had a tendency to look forward, think big. It don't all work out, but most do.
He's one of the most successful businessmen in Texas history. Tom Hicks, he's a Longhorn legend.
Welcome back to Austin and the Irwin Center, where Mr. Allen is serving him up. Here you see his basically running mate in Mitchell ahead on the nice bounce pass, and then of course he gets the rebound, does the same thing. Defense does a poor job of stopping Allen, and he finds his main man Mitchell for the easy flush. Lo, these two kind of have a thing going, man, kind of like a tit-tat where they find
it's
one
like
another.
You and me.
Yeah, baby, where it's just, and that means that I would be Mitchell and you would be Allen, because you always, and I mean always, setting me up, my man.
Allen in triple-double territory at least. 4 points, 5 rebounds, season high, 7 assists. Of those numbers, what do you think is going to be the most difficult to get up into double digits?
I think the scoring. I mean, Allen is so unselfish. As you see, he funnels the defense there and where the help is, and he gets yet another rebound.
At number 6 for him. Jones leaves it short. Nice tip in by Christian Bishop. So the big lineup, hey, it's working.
It is working, and I just noticed something. Texas really, it wouldn't be a bad thing to play Carr off the ball and frankly just let Allen run some point.
I'm liking it.
Because Carr can score the ball. It's okay. You don't have to play traditional basketball. Carr bells out there.
Judge Morgan gets the bucket.
Yeah, but it's okay to let Allen run some offense, because we've seen tonight in Exhibit A for his ability to distribute and allow Carr to move off the screens, be a secondary ball handler to Allen.
So you know in football all the time, you hear football coaches say, he's a football player, meaning there's nothing extraordinary that jumps off the film. He just makes plays. Timmy Allen is the basketball equivalent of that. He's just a player.
Yeah, well put. Well, and I think some people like to call it. Look, to my point, Carr's wide open in the corner. He doesn't have to worry about running offense. He can just focus on scoring. I really think I'm on to something, Lo. I hate to sound narcissistic here, but I feel good about the suggestion.
Coupled with the observation that Texas does not have a true all-around point guard to this point. No one has stepped up for that role.
Yeah, that's well said. And Carr, he has a point guard
push.
size. Nice throw ahead.
And the rejection there by Benjamin Christie.
But the point guard really is easily the most difficult position on the floor, because you're trying to be an extension of the coach and what he wants. You're also making quick and snap decisions and putting people in the places they need to be, and then also trying to take care of yourself. So in Carr's defense, it's not an easy position or role that he's playing, and also doing it low in a new environment.
Well, back to your point forward concept. I mean, we've brought up the George Niang comparison before with Timmy Allen. I think there's so many similarities there.
Yeah,
just a guy that can do so many different things, doesn't wow you and blow you away with athleticism, but somehow creates space for his own shots, sets up teammates as well, plays good enough defense.
You're talking about Niang, who's in the NBA and played at Iowa State.
Yep.
Fine ball player. We call many of his games, but building off of that point, looking at the roster on the floor, to me, Allen, of all the guys on the floor for Texas, has the most point guard in him, inclusive of Jones and Raymond.
Lutz, just a handoff, point blank, and Mitchell is there, not having any of that. So Texas continues to stretch it out, now 50-18 for the Longhorns.
Freshman Research Initiative is the first and largest program of its kind, getting undergraduates into research opportunities at a university at scale.
The FRI program is a way to get freshmen involved in research that they wouldn't technically be involved in until their later years in college.
Sometimes when you learn about things in class, it's very theoretical. Being able to do my own chemical reactions, I get to apply what I've learned into an actual lab setting.
FRI nurtures future scientists. As a freshman, you don't get very many opportunities to work with professors. They taught me all these skills that I've taken to other labs that I'm working in now.
One of my projects involved working with a human protein that is involved in respiratory illnesses, and the further investigation of my research could lead to the development of a vaccine one day.
I'm in the computational materials program. Right now, we're using up a lot of our fossil fuels, and eventually we're going to run out one day. So that's why we're looking into alternative energy sources.
We're learning all of the concepts now so we can further implement this and think about it in a different, fresh way to hopefully discover something new that will change the research world.
These students are future scientists, researchers, doctors. They're doing amazing things. The program changes the world by changing all of the students that are in the program.
Sometimes you take it easy, and sometimes you make it easy. That's the fine life, baby.
I'm the biggest fan around.
The face paint.
The finger.
The team toll tag on my ride. Rep my team, save on tolls.
My new tattoo.
You paid for that?
Show your Longhorn pride.
Sometimes you take it easy, and sometimes you make it easy. That's the fine life, baby.
This is a huge blow to Kelvin Sampson in Houston. Marcus Sasser, the do-it-all guard, out for the season with a toe injury. We saw him just a couple weeks ago coming back from what was described as turf toe. So it means more Jamal Shed. And that's a huge blow. They still got pieces, but that was a team that we felt really could make a run. Duke, of course, is a team that can make a run, but they've had a pair of ACC games postponed because of COVID. And Michigan State, highest this season, up at number 10, started the season unranked.
Coach Izzo working his magic again.
Some magic here from Andrew Jones with the steal. The little dish to Courtney Ramey in transition. So Mitchell, Allen, Jones, Ramey, Dessou. The 5 on the court for the Longhorns. Here's Morgan. Dessou denying it.
And Texas feels really comfortable switching. What'll be interesting is to see if this flow carries over into conference play.
The switching?
Correct, at this level.
Yeah.
I mean,
Glasper no on the runner.
Some of this they don't have a choice because of the size of the opponent.
Ramey wide open 3 ball. UIW doesn't get there. Allen did everything to try to keep it alive. Now I know quality of opponent, and it's not a knock on UIW. They are what the record says they are, right? 2-10 on the year. The competition will take a huge uptick, starting with West Virginia on Saturday. However, in this performance, Texas has done everything in their control to make this a complete performance. They've not played down at any moment to their competition.
Yeah, I think that really can be said for all of their, let's say, pre-league play. I mean, they've done what they were supposed to do. All the games that they were supposed to win, they won. Where they were the underdog, they lost.
Still don't like the start against Alabama State. That was a little concerning to see them go in that big of a hole.
Yeah, that's fair. 16-4 to start the game wasn't pretty. But also, they're human beings, and you're going to have those kind of moments where someone comes out, punches you in the mouth a little bit, and they did respond. As you've mentioned a few times, Dessou came off the bench and gave him a nice boost. needless to say, their record is what it says they are, is in Texas. So they've only lost 2 games.
Let's fire it up 3. Morgan with the rebound. Just 6 field goals by UIW. Little step back. Oh, beautiful touch there by R.J. Glasper, transfer from Oral Roberts. And look, with the strength of schedule, with no non-conference marquee win, Stanford being the only one in the top 100, the tournament resume at this moment in time is not sterling. But we both know the Big 12 conference schedule will present every opportunity you need to get into the NCAA tournament and get in as a really good seed if you have a good conference schedule. It's the best conference in America, and you can't really argue about that.
I think the start of conference for Texas Low is huge. This next game against West Virginia, because that's going to set the tone for Texas in terms of what they can be going through the Big 12.
And this style has won in the Big 12. That has been established from Chris Beard in his run at Texas Tech, Elite 8, followed by a trip to the national championship game that very nearly went the way of the Red Raiders. Imagine that, Texas Tech, just to see them in the national championship game. Such a huge accomplishment, almost ending up as champs. Here is that schedule. And you mentioned the start as well, how important that is, because the schedule is backloaded as Dessous lets it fly from 3. And again, that's not a knock on these early conference opponents, but the ones that are all ranked at the top 25, the Baylors and the Kansases, those are the teams that you play in the second half of conference.
Yeah, there are no nights off. We've seen Kansas State early. They're good in spite of not being a highly ranked team, obviously nationally. Oklahoma State, Likely and Avery, they have other guys that are very good and will pose a challenge. And Iowa State
was supposed to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
They're at the top.
They didn't get the memo.
Near the top. No. And then, of course, Baylor not showing signs of slowing down after they won the Big 12 a season ago and then went on to win the national championship. And Kansas is still Kansas, right? Like, every year Bill Self has a contender. They've got perhaps the best player in the conference. And waiting in the wings is West Virginia.
You mentioned Baylor. I mean, is there a better program in the country right now? I absolutely love what Coach Drew has established and built there alone.
And if you can do it after winning a national championship, and it wasn't like Billy Donovan with that Florida team where they brought everybody back. This is a new team, and they're still winning at that high level.
Yeah, at every level, the recruiting is exceptional. Obviously, the winning is exceptional, and as well as the ability to sustain it.
Yeah.
Talk about getting the memo. They didn't get the memo that they won. Okay, so you can ease up a little bit. No, they're as hungry as if they didn't win last spring.
And it's not just recruiting, but it's identifying talent. And I think we've had these conversations before, the difference between that, not just finding the guys in the top 30. Well, that's a nice shot there by R.J. Glasper. But finding the guys outside that top 30 range that end up developing into really good players, as Christian Bishop is one of those guys. He was not a big-time recruit when he signed with Creighton, but has ended up being a very good high-level player.
What matters is what you do on the court. The rankings, they'll take care of themselves.
You love the preseason rankings.
Yeah, I hear you.
You love the recruiting rankings.
So does Iowa State.
Yeah, and that's all sarcasm, my friend.
Well, I'm just saying.
3 on the clock. Glasper, tough one, and Dessous gets the rebound. Texas running a lot more. Carr back iron. So West Virginia, number 4 nationally in defensive turnover percentage. That's an air by Glasper. You know the team that's number 1 in defensive turnover percentage. The team that we're seeing right now, the burnt orange and white. So 2 teams that are among the best at forcing turnovers. We'll go head-to-head to open up Big 12 play. Dessous, look out. Oh, got a little tripped up there. Not as explosive as that rim-tearing dunk that we saw. Sparked the comeback against Alabama State, but still getting the job done. 6 points, 7 rebounds for Dessous. What do you think his role is in Big 12 play? Because clearly he's not to the point where he's getting as many minutes as he will in a couple of weeks.
Well, no, I'm looking at him now. He's gassed, clearly. Yeah. And you saw that, to your point, with the finish. Ooh. And I think he's showing us his role, which is basically to be disruptive, particularly on the defensive end and or make big plays on the offense. I don't see him yet generating a lot of offense unless there's a mismatch down low or a pass over top. He doesn't go get that low because he's gassed. Speaking of gas, we need to get a little. Texas up 58-24.
I knew I wanted to be a nurse when my mom got sick. I got to see so many phenomenal nurses. They had a lasting impact. I decided to do nursing right then and there when I was about 14 or 15. You never realize how you're going to impact somebody's life, even with just a small gesture. My name is Amanda Davila. I am the ICU manager at St. David's Medical Center, and the best is here.
What starts here creates leaders and sparks our future. What starts here lights our way. What starts here leads to answers to the world's toughest problems. What starts here builds opportunity and lifts up our communities. What starts here feeds the soul. What starts here changes the world. The University of Texas at Austin.
He's as dangerous as anyone I've seen. What explosion at the rim! Can nobody stop that? Let another octet. Can nobody stop that?
In 2020, UT and the Moody College of Communication were given the chance to make a profound difference to the stuttering community by being awarded a $20 million legacy grant to establish the Arthur M. Blank Center for Stuttering Education and Research.
I think about the number of people that will be affected both here nationally, and the numbers vary all over the place. We're going to have an impact on people's lives.
Over 70 million people in the world stutter. I wish all 70 million people could get the experience that I've experienced and that these participants are experiencing here at the Blank Center.
What we really focus on here is teaching basic communication skills that never leave them once they learn them. What can be maintained is an overall effective manner of communicating. When they can achieve those competencies and people are listening to them, they don't see the stuttering anymore.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
How a lot of people see stuttering, and how I initially saw stuttering actually, was that it is a problem. It is something that can and needs to be fixed, which is not true at all.
As they begin to learn how to effectively advocate for themselves, the light begins to come back on and they start to dream again. And I'm going to keep trying to help as many people as I can, and the more people that I help, the more people who stutter I'm going to be indebted to for all that they've taught me about how to better help the stuttering community.
Texas football all the live long day. Hooker.
Welcome back to the Irwin Center, where we've identified the horns that are running. What does that mean? Look at the eyes. Look at where the eyes are focused. Where they're not focused is running to the post, which is what Bishop does, or the basket. Run, Bishop, run, and you get the layup. That's what coaches mean when they say run. It doesn't have to be after a stop low or a turnover. You can run after makes, but you've got to run to the basket, put pressure on the defense, and that typically equals
buckets. The running horns are back.
Well, I didn't go that far.
I know you didn't.
But we did identify a horn that is running. Call the police. Because we've got a horn, a longhorn that's running right now.
They are running more than we have seen in this non-conference schedule, are they not?
They are. But you've got to carry that over throughout the season.
Yep.
And it'll be reflected in the numbers because, as you've shown me, the numbers don't lie.
You got that right. Morgan beat the shot clock, could not get it to go. Here's Devin Askew on the wing. Back to Jones. 4-3, too strong. Cunningham flying in and some contact there on Brandon Swaby. Another typical Cunningham play. He's just going to jump into the screen out of nowhere. Usually someone's going to feel his presence.
Yes, they will, and he's all about the disruption.
Logan Bracamonte no good on his three-point attempt. Here's Timmy. Timmy Allen, 7 points. 4 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Cunningham. Is that shot? No. And into the hands of Swaby.
And the thing you like about Allen really is his decision making. I mean, you mentioned the 7 assists against what? 2 turnovers. So
yeah,
it just tells you that's a guy who you want to have the ball in his hands because he makes very good decisions.
Glasper, no. Big Australian couldn't get the rebound. Jones winding up. He will just lay it in. Good call there by Andrew Jones, who is now up to 7 points. He's got 4 rebounds, 3 assists as well, just 1 turnover tonight. 7 turnovers in all for the Longhorns, 15 by UIW. It's a winning formula. Right into the hands of Trey Mitchell, running with Askew and Jones. Jones looks around, shakes off Allen. And here comes UIW. Askew getting back quickly, and Askew takes it away. That's a great hustle play there by Devin Askew. Mitchell for 3. Didn't like it straight on, likes it from right there. Holding the pose, a little bump with Benjamin Christie saying this is how it is done. Mitchell leading all scores with 12 points. I like his game, Lance.
He's the guy offensively for Texas. He's got to be the guy because he can score at all levels. Doesn't necessarily put it on the floor a ton. He's good around the basket. Mid-range shot is great, and obviously he can shoot the 3-ball.
Averaged 18 points per game over the previous 2 years at UMass. First team A-10 a season ago. Former A-10 Rookie of the Year. Dropped a career-high 37 points on LaSalle a season ago. And right now, Mitchell feels like he's on top of the world and cannot be stopped. 6 of 8 from the field.
Well, not only does it feel that way, it is that way right now.
Yeah.
He's on top of the world, certainly, in this game.
This is a tough situation for a program like UIW. Their best days are ahead in Southland Conference play. It's Glasper, tough angle, and he gets it to go. Schools like this have to make their money. They make money in games like this, or big programs like Purdue, Texas Tech, Baylor. They will cut you a check to come play. But the question must be asked, like, where's the balance there as Askew finds Cunningham between making that money, the programs need to survive, but also not beating your team down before they get into conference play. Right now, Trey Mitchell doesn't care about any of that. He's getting his 14 points for Trey.
That was money.
Saving is really important to Larry. And the Zebra helped him save by comparing the top insurance companies side by side. Save an average of $440 on car insurance. Compare and save at thezebra.com.
Sometimes you take it easy, and sometimes you make it easy. That's the fine life, baby.
This former sports writer for the Daily Texan went to work for the LA Rams in 1947. He was the first general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. In his 29 years, they had 20 straight winning seasons and went to 5 Super Bowls.
All of the time that I was with the Cowboys, my ambition was to create history.
His innovations transformed the NFL from the play clock to professional cheerleaders and earned him a place in the Hall of Fame. Tex Schramm, he's a Longhorn legend.
Texas Robotics has been a quantum change of the way we operate as faculty. It has multiplied tremendously our impact.
It's a cohesive group that's all sort of working together with the single purpose of becoming the best robotics group of people, group of faculty in the world.
Texas Robotics focuses on helping humans with everything from surgeries to recovery and rehabilitation.
It takes all of us to be able to cover this space of robotics. We're trying to both be full service and go deeply in a couple of areas that we think are the particular growth areas for robotics in the coming years. One of those is human-robot interaction, and the other is long-term autonomy. How do we get robots to be turned on and stay on and operational in an uncertain environment for very long periods of time?
Our mission in the new robotics lab is to design robots that can physically connect with the humans.
This technology can be used to help people with neuromuscular disorders who have a healthy brain but broken muscles to get control of their muscles and be able to move around and do activities of daily living.
We're now set up for Texas Robotics to be a leader for years, decades to come, and that a lot of the advances, I think, in the whole field are going to come from this building.
Just dropped weight, shaved the beard a little bit, trimmed it up. Hawaiian shirt guy lands. It's Hawaiian shirt guy. He's everywhere. Welcome back, buddy.
Lowell, you got to be a little more excited, man. You're too monotone.
Man, Raymond? I forgot Hawaiian shirt's name. He actually has a name.
Hawaiian shirt.
He's a popular name.
Can it be a Hawaiian shirt, though, if it's burnt orange?
If it's what? If it's burnt orange?
Yeah, if the colors are burnt orange.
That makes it the best one ever.
Oh, Tristan. Oh.
Licone in. He's going to get the save there from Dylan Dessou. You got Avery Benson in as well. Okay, you know, Licone gets the first bucket if it's between him and Benson. Does Benson get his first bucket as a Longhorn? Does he? What do you think?
I don't think Lacone's going to let that happen. And if it does happen, it has to happen after Lacone gets a couple up. You already know that.
Well, Chris Beard praises Avery Benson for being one of the rare guys, few guys early on that understands what it means to play consistent, tough defense, possession in and possession out. So he followed from Texas Tech. And is one of those culture guys, if you will. Dessou knocking down another, and Dessou joins Mitchell in double digits. Dessou with 10, Mitchell with 14.
And he's been rolling Dessou quietly. Lowell, he's a much better player when he's not gassed.
Yeah. Seriously. Isn't everybody?
Well, no. Some people, wait a minute, Lowell, some guys, when they're a little fatigued, can still play through it. He literally stops. And if you want an example now, we have a great team in the truck. They can show you a lob pass that he literally looked at.
Oh, yeah. the one that was set up that normally he would throw it down.
Right, he would have went and got it.
Ramey tough through traffic. Dessou is there. Yeah, he got his rest, and Dessou is showing that fight he showed early in the game when he was kicking everybody in the head.
Exactly. And you know, for some players, particularly young players, fatigue is just a hurdle to get over. For Dessou here early, it's just been a hurdle to stop him. And in his defense, our team puts it together. Look, watch this.
Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, but there hasn't been a lot of game reps for the man.
No, he needs those. He's showing how good he can be when in shape fully.
it's different, right? Like, he was going in practice, but different as Lutz knocks it down from outside. When you get out here,
totally different. Yeah, game action, you have your adrenaline going. Defenses play you differently as we see some zone action from UIW. Surprised we didn't see more of this in the first half.
Oh, I thought Lacombe was going for it. Instead, it's Febres. Morgan with the rebound.
Lasker going to get his.
All Texas here in Austin, 71-29 over UIW.
College basketball on Longhorn Network is presented by Coors Light, official sponsor of the Texas Longhorns.
I'm the biggest fan around.
The face paint.
The finger.
The team toll tag on my ride. Rep my team, save on tolls.
My new tattoo.
You paid for that?
Show your Longhorn pride.
I've been nursing 36 years, and I love my job.
We believe in caring for everyone. And that's what makes our work a purpose.
What I love here at Ascension is the sense of community and being.
I look out for them, they look out for me, and we look out for our patients.
I have too many blessings to count. I think that's what happens when you find your calling.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and past South Dakota, Santa was coming on his brand new Kubota.
That's not how it goes.
A sidekick, you see, was his new mode of travel. In his XG850, he was kicking up gravel.
What about the reindeer?
In Texas, he said, now I need a tractor. A Kubota from Ewald is just the right factor. While driving his sidekick, he sang through the night,
Merry Christmas to all. And to all a good night.
When it comes to reaching goals or realizing dreams, we're here to help you gain the confidence you'll need to succeed. UFCU. Invest in yourself.
Don't wait months to refresh your home. Start the transformation today at Living Spaces, where you'll find a friendly, non-commissioned team of experts to help you create the perfect room with our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, decor, and more, in stock and standing by for delivery. With fast and free shipping on any purchase, you can enjoy your new designs as early as tomorrow. Bringing your vision to life has never been easier or quicker at Living Spaces and livingspaces.com.
Living Spaces.
Big 12 play starts on Saturday, and Lance, oh boy, we are ready. Woo. Baylor, #1. They've got the longest winning streak at 17 games. Iowa State, they're up to #8, 12-0 with 3 wins against Quad 1 teams, the most in the Big 12, as that one is thrown down by Akile off the inbound. To me, what makes Big 12 play so intriguing when it comes to this Texas team, I've got no feel at all for how they're going to do. And it's intriguing because a guy like Dylan Dessou gives him so much more upside than the team that lost to Gonzaga and Seton Hall. I just don't know. I don't have a feel for the guys yet.
Yeah, so I wouldn't disagree with that. One of my concerns, though, is as we had that graphic up, the common thread with all of those teams is, and this goes away from Dessou a lot, is at the guard spot.
Nice feed and finish.
They have a dude.
Yes.
McKendrell has been great.
Yes.
The point guard, Baylor. Brockington has come on as a real dude. At Iowa State, Agbaji at Kansas is in. I talked to Coach Self, and Coach Penders is
nice
great
floater
shot. Great finish. Coach Self about Agbaji. He said, hey, he's having arguably his best season. He's one of the best guards in the country.
Yeah.
And so right now, Texas, you know it was going to happen. I think one more goes up before Avery gets in there.
Yeah, we still got 148. It could be 3.
Right. Speaking of putting shots up, man.
Glasper wants it. He missed last game, so making up for lost time.
Glasper's going for his, man.
Typically in the Big 12, guard play wins.
Yeah, you need, and beyond the Big 12, you need guard play in Texas right now. You just don't have a dude at that spot who is showing up with any consistency.
Cunningham tried to go off the face of the opposition. Tried to go off Akile. Wow.
Looks like it panned out fairly well.
Yeah. And the crowd just loving it. So here is that scrum for the basketball. Typical Cunningham, he goes down. And right there, throws it off Akile multiple times. We've had a lot of activity on, like, laying on the hardwood in this game.
Could that be a flagrant? Oh!
Benson! Oh! He had the MJ touch, too, on that one. Benson! Avery Benson! No! But going to the line.
Whenever you get guys who don't play a ton, Benson would be one of those guys. It's great for the morale of the bench. Look at Mitchell over there yelling at his teammates. These kind of little nuances about teams help build environment and culture. Look at that hair.
Yeah. Chris Beard started recruiting him when he was at Arkansas State. Saw Benson playing AAU basketball in a horrible collision at half court as Benson gets his first points of the Texas Longhorn. Lost teeth, there was blood everywhere, and the dude comes back and plays in the game. And Coach Beard was like, we need this guy to be part of our program. It happened at Texas Tech, but congratulations there to Avery Benson, knocking down, getting his first shot and bucket as a Texas Longhorn. Under a minute left here. As after this, it's the West Virginia Mountaineers, Bob Huggins, Taz Sherman, Sean McNeil. It's going to be quite the test to open up conference play.
There's a guard, and there's another guard, Taz.
Yeah. Dessou denied and fouled by Lutz. Hey, let's get into the moment of chill brought to you by Coors Light. It's Texas out in transition, and we see Jones loses the handle, but he's got a good friend in Courtney Ramey.
Yeah, he loses it and finds it, and Ramey finishes it with the short leg dunk.
76-33. Texas has done everything expected and asked of them in this game as Dessou with his 12th career double-double. First as a Longhorn. Timmy Allen, a fantastic game. One of the better four-point performances that you will see.
Yeah, good point.
4 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for Timmy Allen. That's winning basketball.
And if I'm the bigs for Texas, I'm getting on my guards and saying, come on, guys, you gotta come with it and match our production.
For the first time this season, Chris Beard starting 3 forwards with Allen, Bishop, and Mitchell. Do you think we see more of that going forward?
Yeah, certainly against West Virginia. I can't imagine that Coach Beard would start all the forwards
with the block
and then sit them in their first conference action.
So Avery Benson will let this clock go all the way down to 0. And Texas will pick up win number 10. Big 12 play. Lance, here we come.
Big 12 time, baby. Texas did a good job. You said they did everything they were supposed to in this game, but also, Lowell, in their pre-league play, they got a big one coming up, though, against West Virginia.
That is coming up on Saturday when the West Virginia Mountaineers coming to town. 11 a.m. Central Time tip. For Lance Blanks, I'm Logan Lindo. Thanks for watching Texas basketball on LHN.
When things get